What's going on, guys? This is Rob. If you guys enjoy my content, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that little bell so you never miss out on my sexy voice. What's going on, guys? This is Rob, and every once in a while, we do an episode of The Rundown, which is just like, hey, so here's like this really cool moment from the story, and I really liked it, so I want you guys to like it too. And in this one, we're talking about the story where the Joker decided to copyright Fish. Oh, dude, dude, this is an amazing story. There was an episode of Batman the Animated Series called The Laughing Fish, which was basically the same thing. So, history time. So like in the early 1970s, this guy Steve Englehart took over writing for Batman, and people talk about the Steve Englehart Batman run like it's one of the greatest and longest standing runs of all time. It lasted 8 issues. Like basically all of Batman the Animated Series is based off like this 8-issue run. But the whole idea, like this picks up with a chick named Silver St. Cloud. Okay, so the whole idea behind this is that, I guess switching back to the modern day, like undoing history time. So the whole thing behind this is that like Silver St. Cloud was this chick who was created by Steve Englehart, who was going to be like this new love interest for Batman, right? Like this one chick who figured out his identity. Batman's the worst detective ever. And here's the reason why. So Silver St. Cloud throws on like this great big huge like event, right? This huge gala, because she's like this super rich chick with blonde hair. It was like DC's attempt to create Silver Sable, but like no one cared. And so this whole thing happens. Criminals bust in. I can't remember who it is. Like somebody busts in, Penguin, Two-Face, whatever, you know, and like she's the only one who notices. I mean, like everybody notices because they all go running and screaming, all that kind of stuff. But she's the only one who notices that Bruce Wayne leaves. So she's kind of looking around and she's like, does anybody ever notice that like when Bruce Wayne leaves, Batman shows up? Like, I wonder if Bruce Wayne is Batman. So like she shouts out his name, right? She's like, Bruce Wayne. And in his infinite wisdom, the world's greatest detective, Batman, turns around and looks at this girl. Good job, Captain Obvious. So she's like, I knew it, but like doesn't actually say anything, right? Because she's kind of like, okay, well, you know, like I'll just keep this secret to myself. So like Batman's like, oh man, like my detective skills have deduced that I think she knows my identity because I'm an idiot. So he goes over to this girl's house in the middle of the night, right? Like that's not creepy at all. Like a guy dressed as a bat shows up at a chick's house in the middle of the night. So he's like, hey, what's going on, girl? He's like, well, not really that. He's just like, may I come in? And like does this as he helps himself, like just walks in. He was, you know, she's like wearing a towel. She's like, oh, hey, Batman. What's going on, Batman? See anything you like? He's like, I see everything I like. So like, so he starts talking to this girl. He's like, what do you know about Bruce Wayne? And like she's feigning like she doesn't know, right? The whole time, like Bruce Wayne's putting on this whole facade about Batman. Now, here's a funny thing. To Silver St. Cloud, this guy looks like an idiot, right? Like he looks like that one high school kid. And you know what I'm talking about. Like that man, y'all know what I'm talking about. That one high school kid who would like wear an eye patch to look tough. Maybe in your school it wasn't a kid with an eye patch. I'm not talking about nerds. Being a nerd is badass. I'm talking about like that one kid who was trying to look cool. And so it's just like, okay, like, come on, man. No one thinks you're cool. No one believes you lost your eye in a bar fight because you're 15 years old. Like, come on, man. Like, just be yourself. All right. Just like be the nerd, you know, and just be awesome, you know. But anyway, so Batman looks like a total goof, right? Like he looks like a total goof in front of this girl. And so she's like, well, maybe I should like tell him, you know, that I know his name is Bruce Wayne. But then again, this is a guy who is completely and totally mentally unstable, climbs into people's windows in the middle of the night, dressed as a bat, while at the same time beating people up all over the place. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna keep this to myself. And so Batman's like, okay, I guess she doesn't know, because my detective skills have led me to believe that there's no conceivable way that her body language is giving off the idea that she's hiding anything. And so he's like, okay, cool, like you don't know anything. So he leaves, and she's like, all right, whatever. All right, so she's had enough, right? Like in this story, she basically ends up taking off. Like she basically ends up leaving because she's like, dude, this guy's crazy as hell. I'm tired of dealing with this crazy man. That's the thing you gotta remember, guys. Every woman has 3 lists. She's got the friend zone list, she's got the boyfriend list, and she's got the mistakes she made when she was younger list. And like that's like Batman is on the mistakes I made when I was younger list. That's his whole thing. So anyway, so Batman's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go out and do my own thing and beat up criminals. And then there's like this dude on a dock, right? He's just like calling out. He's like, Batman, help me, somebody help. So Batman's like, I wonder what could be going on. So like Batman shows up, the dude shows him a basket full of fish that look like the Joker. Batman's like, oh my God. Like, you know, I've got enough going on right now. I've got some crazy chick who I think figured out my identity, but she thinks I'm like a crazy guy from high school who wore an eye patch. I've got so much going on right now. Like, I really don't have time for Joker and his insane antics. But people are freaking out because they're like, hey man, this is our source of income, dude. This is how we make our money. So like, you need to do something about this, Batman, because you're a superhero and we're too lazy to do anything for ourselves. All right, so pick up in like this copyright office, right, with this dude named Francis. So Joker comes rolling in, right? Like Joker comes rolling in. He's like, hey, what's going on? Everybody in the office is like, oh, because like the Joker's here and it's like, man, this is not going to go anywhere but bad. So like Francis, so he walks up to Francis. He's like, hey man, so I don't know if you noticed, home slice, but like all the fish in the eastern seaboard look like me. And so Francis is like, yeah, man, like they do kind of look like you, Joker. So what's your point? He's like, well, I want to copyright them. And it's like you want to copyright fish? Man, you can't be copyrighting fish. Like you can't do that, Joker. You can't copyright fish. Wrong answer. So Francis gives him bad information. Joker's like, okay, look, man, like this is gonna go one of two ways. Either you can like let me copyright fish, or you can die. Cause I mean, we kind of have to make arrangements for this kind of stuff, you know? And so like he asks him a question, Francis goes to answer, and Joker backhands the hell out of him. He's like, you deserve this for having the name Francis. And he's like, I always answer questions myself. I always answer my own questions. Why? Cause I'm the Joker and I'm crazy. So the Joker's like, look, man, this is happening. All right, like this is gonna happen. I mean, imagine this. Imagine like if I copyrighted fish, man, like all my schemes would be done. I wouldn't have to rob anything anymore. Now, to be honest, if I were Francis, I would have pushed it through. I would sit there and weigh the odds. One, I've got a crazy guy dressed as a clown in my office who's probably gonna kill me. And two, if it means that the Joker is gonna stop being Joker, then I would be like, yeah, man, you can copyright fish, whatever, man. I'd be like, here you go. Here's a copyright permit for fish. You know, like Long John Silver's, good luck. I mean, honestly, I think it'd be kind of cool. Like you go to Long John Silver's and you just get like a Joker looking fish. You know, like, let me get the number 5, hold the Joker. I'm just saying, like I think it'd be kind of funny. So anyway, Francis rejects the whole thing, right? So the Joker's like, okay, fine, like, you know, you're gonna pay for this, you know? So he ends up just leaving, ends up walking off. All right, now, pick up with this guy named Rupert Thorne. Rupert Thorne was a creation, as far as I'm aware of, by Steve Englehart, and he was basically designed to be like this new villain in town. And it's kind of crappy because what you had is I believe, if I remember correctly, you had this huge auction, and it was the auction for the identity of Batman, and Rupert Thorne was the one who won. And so Joker shows up and visits Rupert Thorne, right? In the most uncomfortable way possible. Like Rupert Thorne's in like the men's room. He just finishes up using the bathroom. So Joker comes rolling up on Rupert Thorne. He's like, hey man, so I heard you got the identity of Batman. And Rupert Thorne's like, yeah man, Joker, please, like, don't kill me because I know you're crazy as hell. So Joker's like, hey man, all right, here's the idea. I need the Batman. All right, like I gotta have Batman. If I don't have Batman, then things just aren't what they need to be. So like you gotta let me have Batman. So he's like, you can get out of town, man, is what you could do. You can basically get out of town and basically sends like Rupert Thorne go crazy, whatever. Rupert Thorne loses his mind, who cares? Anyway, so this is like a throwback to the old school things, right? So like Joker jumps on TV, right? It's a throwback to the old like Batman #1 or whatever it was. Joker first showed up when he killed Mayor Haiti, and he shows up and he says, okay guys, like, hey everybody, on national television, at least local television, you know, local channels, probably interrupted by some terrible commercials. The heavy hitter, you guys know what I'm talking about, that lawyer guy? I don't know if you guys have that in your town, but like we have this guy, he's like the heavy hitter. He's like this lawyer. He looks so seedy. Like he looks like a mob lawyer. And it's just like I'm the heavy hitter, you know, and whatever. This guy got Super Bowl time once, so he's got some money. But anyway, so he jumps on TV. He was like, hey, so Carl G. Francis wouldn't let me copyright fish, so he's gonna die. So he's gonna die at like this exact time. So good luck. So what ends up happening is like Batman goes over to his house, right? He's like, okay, look, you know, we got to keep an eye out here. We got to figure out what's going on. You know, we got to get everything sorted. Now, here's the funny thing. Batman and Joker have fought before, right? This whole situation has unfolded before. This is why Batman's the worst detective ever. So Batman's like, okay, I want to put this, you know, this thing over his face so everything's gonna be okay. And then like Francis is exposed to like this chemical in the exact same way that like Mayor Haiti was. And then Francis dies the same way Mayor Haiti did. And Batman's like, oh my goodness, you know, I didn't think of the one thing that would have been the most obvious, where Joker exposed him to a chemical in the copyright office. And this is the secondary chemical. And now he's dead. Golly gee, I'm the world's greatest detective. So Francis is dead, right? And they're like, okay, so the Joker's like, I'm gonna keep killing people until like my request is approved by the city because I'm the Joker, and that's what I do. Okay, so the next person on the Joker's list is this dude named Jackson, right? He's like the next person under Francis. And so Batman's like, okay, I have an idea, guys. Like in my infinite wisdom and my genius detective skills, which have proven to be infallible, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna dress up Jackson as Batman, the most sought after person in the city of Gotham. At any point in time, they could, you know, like people could just descend on the house. Like, okay, guys, we got to take out Batman before we get to Jackson because Batman's gonna get away with things. So let's put him in harm's way. All right. So what happens is like the Joker sets a cat loose, right? He's just like, okay. So like the internet loves cats. So like, you know, everybody loves cats. Like they're gonna be like, oh man, look at that cat. It's so adorable. It's so cute. You know, like Captain Whiskers. You know, so like they send Captain Whiskers into the house, right? So Captain Whiskers ends up taking a bite of one of the Joker. Like he walks in with a Joker fish, and it's like, oh my god. And so Batman's just like, oh my god, dude, the cat's infected with the Joker toxin. So Captain Whiskers becomes Captain Smiles. So Captain Smiles turns around and like immediately jumps at Batman, right? And it's just like, oh dude, man, he's gonna turn Batman into like, and he's gonna kill him. And that's exactly what happens. So we end up finding out that Batman was dressed as Jackson, and that was it. So Jackson's dead. Man, let me tell you something, man. It sucks being friends with Batman. When you're friends with Batman, you die. And so it's like, I don't want, like, Batman, I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. So Batman's like, okay, we gotta sort this out. We gotta figure this out. So Batman takes the fight to the Joker, right? And so doing what he should have done in the first place, which was track the Joker down before any of this could happen, the Batman finally locates him, right? So Batman comes running up on the Joker and he's like, all right, look, man, this needs to end right now. Like, I've had enough of this whole thing. Like, this needs to come to an end. What follows is one of the craziest things ever. Joker's like shooting like the poison acid stuff out of his little lapel thing, out of his little flowers. So he's shooting things at Batman. Batman goes to punch him. Joker dodges and then like just takes off. And it's just like this cat and mouse game where they're fleeing over the rooftop. Silver St. Cloud's long since gone. Rupert Thorne's like, man, I got to get while the getting's good. Like, so they're just kind of like chasing over rooftops and all that kind of good stuff. And Batman's like, oh gosh, golly, my combat training. It's all come to bear in the fact that I'm being outran by a guy in a purple suit with no real athletic training whatsoever. So Batman finally catches up with him, right? Finally catches up with the Joker. They end up like on this little high-rise thing. Like Joker falls off and he lands in the water and Batman's like, okay, well, I guess everything's all right. And then leaves. And he's like, okay, well, the Joker fell in the water. What's the worst that could happen? I'm sure he's gone now. Like that's the end of Joker. And then he just takes off. Like Silver St. Cloud finally tracks him down, right? She's like, hey, I know what your identity is, Batman. Like I know that you're Bruce Wayne. And okay, now let's be honest here, folks. If I were Batman and somebody rolled up on me and was like, I know your identity is Bruce Wayne, then I would be like, I'd snap their neck. Call me cold-blooded, man. I'd be like, well, you know what, Silver St. Cloud, you're going in the water with the Joker. And that'd be the end of it. Cause I'd be like, look, my identity needs to be protected. All right. And that's going to be it. So like, I mean, honestly, I would have taken care of her, but that's it. Like Joker falls into the water and Batman's like, the day is saved because Joker fell into the water. He couldn't possibly survive that, you know, because it's the Joker, whatever, comic books. And like, that's it. Like he's just like, okay, let's go swing from buildings again. And you know, and like, that's the end of the story. It's interesting, but it's weird because like this story shows Batman to be his most inept. Like he's like the most inept detective ever. Like it's weird to me. Anyway, if you guys are new here to Comments Explain, make sure you guys hit the sub button to become part of the Rob Corps. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like and I will catch you all later. Peace.